Welcome. In some denominations, you'd make a trip to the pastor's study for answers to the really tough questions. Well, let's see what we can do here. Marry me, blessed be, and welcome. Depending on how you got here, I'm Aidan Odinson, High Priest of the Temple of Gaia, or Bishop Cal Lippitt of the Universal Episcopal Church. Either way, welcome. One of the questions that a lot of people don't really seem to ask is, what is it that I'm supposed to accomplish here? And it's a valid question for just about anything that you do. That's a valid question. What is it that you're doing, and what is it that you're supposed to accomplish by doing it? Now, I don't care whether it's talking about an English comp class in college when you're majoring in something that you don't think requires it, or mowing the lawn when you're a child, or anything else. Yeah. And I can see why some people are kind of reluctant to ask the question. And one of the big reasons why is, of course, isn't that something I'm already supposed to know? Not really. No. Especially if somebody didn't tell you, or somebody was acting like you were already supposed to know it because they thought they were already supposed to know it and didn't. Like a Sunday school teacher or a pastor, or anybody else with a religious title who's trying to teach you something but is basically repeating what they were told. We're calling it what I call spirituality. Now, spirituality is different from another term that I've heard batted around. At one time, I knew somebody pretty well who was working on becoming a psychologist, and she had this term, religiosity. Basically, it was her term for overdoing it. I understand that she had a manual that she could look this up, and it was basically for those people who were overdoing it, going too far, etc. And most of the definition of it had to do with following in lockstep, doing what they were told, sacrificing, giving, and participating in activities and all that. But try as she did, she couldn't give me a spiritual aspect to that definition. Spirituality is something else. What's the difference? Communication. That's the difference as I see it. If there is one basic element necessary in your spiritual life, it's communication. And notice the co, meaning two-way, at the beginning of that word. It's not monommunication, not unimunication, communication. Just like communion. Yeah. You're not here to just listen to the edicts of somebody who somehow is more privileged or who happens to have gone to a particular school to get a particular piece of paper on the wall and maybe a little title to put in front of their name. No. And you're not here to just be told what's in a book. And you're not here to just read the contents of a book. No. No. Communication. Communion. That's the difference. And what I'm trying to help you find, regardless of what your spiritual path happens to be, is how to help get that going and how to get that going all the more. Yeah. Now, yes, I like to think that I've accomplished something along that line, although I'm going to have to say that I don't know who would claim to know all about it. Like anything else of this sort of stuff, I don't know who, at least among us mortals, would be able to claim to know all about it, or to be able to tell exactly how it's done. That comes by way of learning, experience, some study, possibly discussion, and a whole lot of practice. Babe Ruth, or any of the greats since then, for all the home runs they struck, had to have struck out many times for all the home runs that they hit. The greatest swimmer at the Olympics at one time had to learn how to dog paddle. And so we learn. And we keep trying. I've come across a few people, historic, I can't say that they're still around, the ones that I know of, who came across some rather powerful stuff. And I'm grasping at what they tried to say, to see if I can accomplish some of that. So no, once again, I do not give you a quick and easy solution, but I can say that it can be done, and you're certainly welcome to joining me in trying to see just how much we can do. No matter what your spiritual path, and some of which I'll admit, I'll tell you right now, I've learned from the Buddhist and the Jesuit and a few others, and some I've developed on my own. The trick is, keep trying, and eventually, I suppose, we'll get there. Or at least somebody will be pleased that we tried. Blessed be, and I'll see you next week. This has been a presentation of the Wise Ones Net. Merry part and blessed be.